Livinpink here for CyberActiv, and I am here with Gwin.
It's true.
What are you doing this weekend, sir?
Well, Quantic was interested in having someone come out and be the on-site interview personality to do all the interviews of all their players, and they asked me if I wanted to do it. I said sure. So I'm here doing that, hence the wonderful Quantic tie. I have another one too. It's actually black with red Quantic logos, but it's not as obvious as this one is. So I went with this one today.
Fancy. So you're not doing any casting this weekend. How are you liking doing interviews though?
Interviews are kind of fun. They're a little bit of a walk in the park compared to casting, I think, just from like a stress level. Because all I have to do is like walk around on the floor, see all these pro gamers who are already my friends and like I know, and be like, hey, let's talk about your games, and then like point a big camera at them. I don't know if you saw the camera we have. It's bigger than I am, so.
Pretty impressive camera. So how do you come up with your questions? Any tricks for me?
I think one of the biggest tricks I have for interview questions is like talking with the person before the interview. And then being like, oh, these are things that I can ask the person about that I already know the answer to, or I already know kind of what they're going to say. But you ask them that on camera, and then you have like a really good response, because then they're like, oh yeah, this, and then they give you this great sort of answer.
So who did you interview that you were the most excited about or nervous about?
I don't know. I think it's always the hardest to interview the Koreans, just because of the language barrier, and some of the translation that we had was good, but we did like some really funky stuff with how we did translation and things that make it look like I just speak Korean. So of course we have multiple cameras, right? And with the editing that we did, it just looks like I speak Korean. So that was kind of a little bit funky to do. So I think that was the worst. APOC, Quantic Apocalypse, was like really nervous. It's his first time in the US, it's his first time at an MLG, and he's like sitting in the interview chair next to me just like stuttering nonstop. And so like that interview was like 25 minutes long, and on YouTube it's like 4 minutes long, right? But it was like 25 minutes of shooting, just because he was so nervous. So that was a little bit hard, I think.
So besides that, you guys for Playham, do you do anything else we don't know about?
Well, I mean, casting-wise, I've done a lot of stuff. Recently, I did some content for CSN. CSN is actually what got me started casting in eSports, was doing the rundown for them. We're actually bringing it back. It's going to start in October again. It's going to be a much bigger deal. It's not going to be like a once weekly $100 tournament anymore. It's going to be like, oh, this is $1,000 every month kind of deal. So it's going to be really big. I'm really excited about it. So I've kind of like set up the format. Now I'm just waiting for the CSN guys to get sponsors lined up and all that good stuff, and players.
So you want to keep casting? Do you want to keep doing interviews? What's your goal? Like, what are you looking at right now?
Esports is like a hobby. I think for a lot of people, it's not something that's sustainable for a lot of people to make money on right now. And so my sort of goal in esports is to have fun with it as my hobby. If it turned into a job, that would be a lot of fun. I think I would prefer casting to being an interview personality, but I think that the two kind of go hand in hand to some extent. And just being very familiar with the players and very familiar with the game helps both a lot. And so, yeah, if I can't be a player, I'd like to be a caster, and I already know I can't be a player because I'm awful.
Which race do you play?
I play all 3 races at mid-masters level, so.
That's good. Not that bad. I mean, it's not that good for a professional player, but for a caster, I mean, it's all right. You get knowledge on all 3 levels. That's good. You experience the play. Anyway, so besides that, what have you in store for this weekend? More interviews? Anything you're looking forward to a lot?
Yeah, more interviews. I'm actually, since this is my first time in North Carolina, I hear that the barbecue here is of legend, right? And so I have to eat some barbecue while I'm here. I think that's like the big thing on my list. I was like, North Carolina, barbecue, there's not a check mark there, right? So that's on the list. I really want to interview like more of the Koreans. Like I've already gotten Alicia and Crank. I need to get Ryung. He was hiding from me, and I really need to interview Scarlett. But I think we've got her lined up for after she wins WCS, as she told me. So I think that's the prediction from her, that she'll take that because she just took out Vibe and then gets to play Vibe again after he took out Idris. So
looks pretty good for her. So we'll be watching out for that and watching out for your interviews. So any shout outs, sir?
Yeah, I want to do a big shout out to Quantic for bringing me out here to do all this content. It's a lot of fun. Also a shout out to CSN for being like the people who got me started in esports altogether. So yeah, we should have an interview with CSN Andrew. But all the interviews I'm doing can be found on Quantic's YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Quantic Media. Additionally, if you've liked the interview or liked any of the interviews I've done or any of my casting, we have to cast together. Yeah. But any of my casting, please follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/GwinCraft, GWINCRAFT. So I do tweet anytime interviews go up or all that good stuff. And where can people find you on Twitter?
They know. It's at Livinpink SC2. Anyway, thank you a lot for this interview, and I will see you next time.